This season had me screeching and standing up off of my couch and shouting at the screen going, yeah! And also, no! Why? What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video about Naruto. Now for those of you who maybe don't know, hi, my name is Hannah and I am on a first time Naruto journey. It was actually a part of my New Year's resolution to watch one of the big three, and for many different reasons that I'm not going to get into this video, I picked Naruto. And after each arc, I've been pausing and making a video about it so that I can give my honest thoughts and initial reaction to the arc that I just watched. So I'm just gonna say it right now because this is more of a review. I don't usually like bringing negativity to videos. However, I am going to talk about things that I maybe disliked, maybe did like, that sort of thing, because this is more of a review. So keep that in mind. I might not agree with you, you might not agree with me, but that is okay. All I ask is that if you do disagree with me and you want to comment about it, just keep it respectful. But this is going to be our final arc of the original Naruto series. I'm going to do one more video after this, just giving my overall thoughts of the entire series. But we are going to be splitting this video up in two parts. We're going to talk about characters, plot, and then my overall thoughts on the season. But before we get into today's video, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on my Naruto journey. You can also follow me on social media. I am at Hannah Malay on Instagram if you're interested in more of my cosplay stuff, which I am going to do a Naruto character cosplay sometime this year, so you might want to follow me there if you want to be a part of figuring out which character I'm going to cosplay and getting to see the final product. If you're more interested in my short form content about Demon Slayer or my random thoughts throughout the day, you can follow me on X and TikTok at lookingnerdy. But with that, let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about the plot first, because again, the characters, I don't think anyone new, per se, was introduced outside of more of, Orochimaru's henchmen, which they're Orochimaru's henchmen. I don't really have feelings towards them, so let's start with the plot. So this was actually a very interesting arc, and I think it was my favorite of the entire show. The pacing was a little bit slow at times. I mean, it took us 40 episodes to get through, each 1v1, and then Naruto versus Sasuke at the end, which Naruto versus Sasuke was... I was tearing up. I was screaming at the TV. I couldn't believe it. I don't know how I didn't get spoiled on the fact that Sasuke has a straight up villain arc. I literally had no idea. I knew going into the show that Sasuke was a special character that people either loved or hated, but I did not know that he was gonna straight up just choose to join Orochimaru. Okay, so starting at the beginning though, when Sasuke kind of was getting all mad, we had Naruto versus Sasuke where they were both getting very hot-headed, and then Kakashi saved them, and then Kakashi had a conversation with Sasuke about his revenge quest and how that never ends up good for anyone, and you need to start to really focus on the friends that you've made and stop worrying about revenge. And I thought finally we were going to get through to Sasuke, because he has been that dark-haired emo kid that only cares about revenge, which I get. He experienced his entire, not just his entire family, but his entire line got wiped out by his brother, which is absolutely insane. So I get his desire for revenge, but I really thought that Kakashi got through to him, and then instantly Orochimaru's henchmen came up and were no, don't forget what you're fighting for. And then Sasuke's okay, bye everyone I love, I'm going with them. Do I think Sasuke's a little whiny brat? Yes. I will say it. I was telling my friends, Sasuke's a little bitch. I can't say it on YouTube, okay? I don't care if people hate me for saying that. I don't know where he's going from here. Right now, I hate Sasuke. I understand the revenge quest. I understand being so upset by your trauma that you go in this route, but he's just being a whiny crybaby. I'm sorry. He just wants power. He just wants to be able to defeat Itachi, and it's what are you going to do when that happens? You're literally alienating everyone that actually cares about you just so you can go kill your older brother, and then what's gonna happen after that? Really? And that's what Kakashi was trying to say to him. So I'm definitely disappointed in him and how Sakura tried to stop him and he knocked her out, which I was ready to throw some hands with him. But it is what it is. He went after them, he took this medication, and so the Sasuke Retrieval squad commences. First of all, Shikamaru becoming a Chunin and being the only one from that exam getting it. Honestly, yes. And there is a lot that went down, so I'm going to try and separate each battle. So first we had Choji versus the one guy, and honestly, I thought Choji was dying 100%. I was actually surprised that he didn't die if we jump to the end of the arc, because I heard a lot about the Naruto characters. Most of them I have either seen pictures of as like adults or just heard about enough that I assumed they would survive this, like Neji, Shikamaru, Naruto, obviously, Sasuke. Choji was the only one where I was like, I feel like I've never heard of you in Shippuden or anything else, so I kind of was expecting him to die, but still kind of happy that he didn't, because it made the mission and feel a little bit less depressing since they failed the mission, spoiler alert. But it was good to see some development for Choji, because in the Chunin exam, he's like the only one that didn't get like 3 episodes of 1v1. He was defeated immediately. So it was nice to see how strong he is and how hard he will fight. Neji's fight. Okay, so if you've watched my previous videos, you know I didn't really like Neji at all. I hated how he was so like, if you're born weak, there's no way you can become stronger. If you're not talented, you can never work hard enough to become as good as the talented ones. I don't like that mindset. And I didn't like how he treated Hinata and their 1v1 and all that stuff, and how he acted when he had to go up against Naruto. But there was definitely a break in his cold exterior when Naruto beat him in that Chunin exam, and I've liked him ever since. He is way like softer and kinder, and I think he just got served a piece of humble pie and he had to change the way he thought of things. He also learned about like what actually happened with his dad compared to his uncle, and he was holding a grudge against the main family as well. And his 1v1 was probably, I would say, my favorite one. I loved the way he fought. I loved how they were matched up. And even though his fight took very, very long, that was like my only real issue, was each fight took like, I don't know, 5 or 10 episodes. And after a while, I just start to get kind of annoyed because it's not the main fight. And I'm just like, okay, move on with it. But his was very good as well. And then we had Kiba. Kiba is a character that I like. I don't feel like he's standing out against everyone else. His fight scene also seemed there was no way he was going to get out of that, but he obviously did. Right around the time that his battle was ending was when the big thing happened that had me screeching at my TV. The Sand Shinobi are now allies of the Leaf Village. Yes, I've been waiting for this moment. When Gaara and Temari and Kankuro showed up, I was like, let's freaking go. I had to pause and take a picture and send it to my friends who both watched Naruto and been like, let's freaking go! Yes, I have been waiting for this moment. This was the best plot twist of the show so far. When they showed up, Kiba was still fighting and he could smell them, and like the whole time was like, it's the sand ninjas and they're there to help. It's the sand ninjas and they're there to help. And this was so good when Gaara came in, and at this point he's come in to save Naruto and Rock Lee, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Oh my gosh, I loved this. This was by far the best part of this season. So moving on, we had Shikamaru versus his Orochimaru henchmen. Also very good. They were all very good. I'm losing my train of thought. But each 1v1 was very evenly matched. It had a good mix of being like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work out, to, oh my gosh, we're about to win, to, oh no, big surprise, we're not about to win. It got a little bit predictable because they all follow the same kind of timeline of starting out like an even fight, and then it like leaned way towards the bad guy, and then it leaned way towards the good guy, and then the bad guy was like, oh no, I'm actually been better than you this entire time because you were just falling for my traps. And then the good guy's like, no, I'm like literally about to die, but I'm gonna beat you now. Anyway, they all managed to survive, which is great. Naruto against, what was his name? The one guy that was just like way too immortal and stuff. And then Rock Lee showing up. So Rock Lee, I have a couple things to say. First of all, he could not climb upstairs on his own the night before. So I want to know how he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna fight. Did he? I know he was drunk. I know he took the medicine. And I guess every person, the way they handle alcohol is different. But I was just like, man, he literally couldn't walk upstairs like 5 hours ago. And now he's just fighting this super strong foe that feels practically immortal. It's like, oh, break my bones. Okay, cool. I will too. That was pretty crazy, but it was good to see Rock Lee back. I'm really happy that he's back, that the surgery went well. I had a feeling he was going to be okay because I knew there was still way more to come with his story than it ending in the second arc of the original series. I still very much love Rock Lee, so I'm excited to see what happens next. But when Gaara jumped in to save him after Gaara was the reason why Rock Lee was done, I was like, oh, why do I love this so much? It was so good. I was just so excited. I was jumping out of my seat. So I was very happy to see Gaara like come in and jump ahead of him and end up defeating the guy, even though it was very difficult. Okay, now we get into the big one. Sasuke versus Naruto. So this was a very interesting development. First of all, Sasuke is genuinely willing to kill him, and if it weren't for the nine-tailed fox, he would have. Like, the part where Sasuke, like, burned him and then took him down, I'm pretty sure Naruto broke his neck. Like, I'm pretty sure he was legitimately, like, a dead fish in that water where his head was leaning back. I was like, oh, he broke his neck. Like, if it weren't for the nine-tailed fox, he would have been done. And Sasuke was just like, it's over. I was like, bro, I don't adopt the idea that he does think Naruto is his best friend. I think he was saying that because at that moment, he did believe that he had to kill his best friend to earn the special Sharingan, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. I think he was legitimately just saying that because I don't think Sasuke's that evil that he can look at someone and be like, you are my best friend, and be so okay with just killing him. And granted, he did end up not killing Naruto. I think it was because he genuinely couldn't. And he says it's because he wanted to go the different way and not listen to his brother, but I think he genuinely couldn't. So I do think that there's a lot of layers and levels to that. But overall, that fight scene was very good. The choreography was great. The emotions were high because it was Sasuke versus Naruto, of course. But the whole time, I couldn't help but think about the fact that Sasuke was he's so blinded by his desire for revenge that he's just being a whiny crybaby. Just stop and think, dude. You're literally going to Orochimaru, who tried to completely destroy the village that you were born and raised in, and everyone that you know is from that village, just because you want revenge on one person that has nothing to do with that village anymore. Like, be so for real. Like, you are obviously a child that is dumb. But it was still a very good fight. It was still very emotional, and Naruto absolutely lost. So I found that very interesting. I think Naruto needs to truly experience that loss where not only did he lose the fight, they also failed the mission. So their mission was to bring Sasuke back, and they could not do that. So I'm very interested to see what happens next because Sasuke still has some kind of forced power from taking that, like, pill at the very beginning, and it was interesting, to say the least. I also was kind of laughing when Kakashi finally got there, and Sasuke was gone, and Naruto was just laying there. They were making it seem like Naruto was dead. I was like, should you, like, check for a pulse or something? I feel like he was holding him like he was dead, and then, like, the next time we saw him, he had him on his back, and it was like, oh, he's just unconscious. And I was like, bro, this is so dramatic. Anyway, it was a very dramatic fight, so it kind of went along with that style, but it was very, very good. And honestly, plot-wise, I found this entire arc very engaging. The pacing at times was a little bit iffy because we took a very long time to get to kind of the point of Sasuke versus Naruto, which I think was the main deep part of the story, because the story has honestly been kind of gearing up for that the entire time. And I think back to the very beginning, I've always felt like Sasuke and Naruto were going to fight. I didn't think they were going to fight in the way where, like, Sasuke's going on his full villain arc, but I felt like the entire story was definitely kind of working towards that moment, and they were very evenly matched per se, but Naruto definitely lost. So I think there's definitely going to be another fight between the two of them that Naruto's going to have to win. I do think Sasuke kind of leans in the middle gray area for a lot of the show, just based off of what I've seen for, like, future pictures and that sort of thing, but I'm interested to see what happens with Sasuke and Orochimaru and everything that's happening there. But overall, I gave this arc a 9 out of 10 plot-wise. I felt like everything worked really well together. I just had a couple of issues with pacing, which I can't really count against it too much because I know the situation the show was in, of it being not seasonal, and they had to kind of add in anime filler content to make sure the manga stayed ahead of them for as long as possible. So I thought it was really good. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. It gets 2 thumbs up from me. So I kind of already talked a lot about the characters, but I wanted to call out a couple things. So I've already talked about, like, the development of Sasuke, which I found was very interesting, but I want to say that I am fully no longer a Naruto, the character hater. If you watched the beginning of my journey, you might know even like the title of my season 1 recap was I hate the MC, question mark, question mark. I found Naruto so freaking annoying, and just there was no real good factors about him. It was just all annoying, all meh to me, but that's allowed him to really grow, in my opinion. And while he still has those like super immature personalities to him, I find him such a more endearing character now than I did during the first arc. So they have done a very good job at developing him, and I know it's going to only get better as the series progresses. I was still a little bit annoyed about the lack of Sakura because she literally was just still kind of a damsel in distress. She did try to stop Sasuke. She was not successful at it and got knocked out, but at least there was that part of it. I was just kind of annoyed with the fact that she didn't get to be a part of it because like her emotions would be too much. I just feel like every chance they get, the female characters are just kind of not a part of the story, written off, or just standing there. So I'm interested to see where her character goes from here, because I would definitely say as of right now, I find Sakura's character to just be very lacking in writing, and it annoys me a little bit, but I have heard it's going to get better. So I'm looking forward to Shippuden to see if it can redeem itself from the original series. Rock Lee, I think, is still one of my favorite characters. However, Shikamaru has definitely risen the ranks. He might be my favorite character at this point. I really like him. He's just so silly. He's kind of that emo kid, but also like he definitely cares a lot, and I think the Mendokse is a front to cover up the fact that he cares so much that he's like, he doesn't want everyone to die. He's scared of everyone dying because he cares about all of them, so he puts on a front of being like, I just don't care, to try and make sure that he can like actually fight without being so overcome with his desire to protect everyone. That's what I'm saying right now. I feel like he's kind of a Gyu in the case of he's very quiet and he's very just like, I don't really care. But deep down, he's a person that just cares so much that he has to just be very like reserved and standoffish almost. I don't know how to describe it, but I really like Shikamaru. I think as of right now, he might be my favorite character. We'll see. Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro, I'm so happy to see them be a part of, they're not really a part of the team, but they are now allies, which I kind of saw coming, I guess, a little bit. I did know that Gaara was a big role in Shippuden and that he is brought up a lot, and everything that I had seen of him was that he was good, like he was working with Naruto and Sakura and that sort of thing, so it definitely did not surprise me that they all kind of turned. And also at the end of the invasion arc, it kind of showed how Orochimaru had manipulated the village hidden in sand to be on his side because he was pretending to be their Kazekage and stuff, and he had already killed them. Once they found out that Orochimaru killed the Kazekage, it did not surprise me that they would become allies to the Leaf Village because they have a common enemy now. So overall, I gave the characters a 9 out of 10 as well. Very, very well done. I'm definitely way more into the show than I was when I started, which I kind of expected. Usually it takes a little while for me to be like very into a story enough to be like, okay, like this is good, I want to watch more, like let's do this. So overall thoughts with the plot and the characters all working together to make a very well done arc, I would give this entire thing a 9 out of 10. It is the highest rated one for me by not a lot, but definitely by quite some. I think the highest I gave was an 8.5, so it's not really a lot, but overall, this one had me thinking about it during my day more. I'm being like, man, I really want to watch more Naruto, and it had me in tears, it had me happy, it had me jumping out of my seat, so I very, very much enjoyed the entire season, and it was a great ride. So I think that is going to be it for today's video. If you like this video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on this arc of Naruto, the Sasuke Retrieval mission. Also, if you're interested in following me on Instagram for more cosplay content, I am at Hannah Malay. And then if you're interested in following my short form content and random thoughts, you can follow me on TikTok and X at lookingnerdy. But with that, I will see you for a final review of Naruto in a couple of weeks, and then we'll be on to Shippuden. Yay! Mata ne!